party, people. So Ankr and Iotex had a little Twitter type of AMA today. And today's event was talking about the future, what they see is coming. And what is it? What is coming down the road? What does Iotex need Ankr for? So it's for the Internet of Things. It's like a bunch of buzzwords. We hear it all the time. But basically, we're talking about connected devices. Connected devices, and people are like, well, what about IoT, Internet of Things? What about connected devices? What good is this? So we're going to talk about, we got to start thinking about the futures. So they're seeing a lot of stuff being developed by, people who use Raspberry Pi, those Arduinos. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word, but, those other little circuit boards, and we're starting to see a lot more of these devices being used, people doing a lot more stuff with their cell phones, for example. And I'm going to give you an example of something, and we're going to see how this could apply to Web3 and be the future. So let's think about diabetes. A lot of you guys have probably already seen commercials, about people, having to stick themselves and how that really sucks. People hate having to poke their finger all the time. And now, instead of doing that, the FDA has approved devices that you can stick on yourself, and it can monitor your blood glucose at all times. So this is and it's connected to your cell phone. So a lot of data, of your personal data, is on there. And this could be beneficial because that data is probably more accurate than when you stick yourself, say, in the morning or at night, because that blood glucose is good for that moment. But here, it's taking measurements throughout the day so you can get a more accurate picture, a better average to determine where you are at all times. So you can get an idea, see if things are getting better, if things are getting worse, and it keeps track of that data. So we can get that data to your medical doctor, so it's beneficial for your medical doctor, it's more beneficial for you, and we got to on-ramp it onto Web3. And why is it important to get it onto Web3? And I'm going to tell you something from experience. When you work in healthcare, lots of times these clinics, they have a lot of data, and it's stored at one location. For example, you got dental clinics, they store the x-rays, at the centralized location, and when it crashes, the doctor has no access to those x-rays. And it can go 1 or 2 days for people to recover those x-rays. In the meantime, you got a whole bunch of patients that are upset because they can't be treated, because you can't treat them without x-rays. You don't know what's going on, you can't see. Dentist needs x-rays to see what's going on. So there's problems with centralized healthcare the way it is. There's just that point of failure is too big. And then the second thing is these people that store the data, they can hold these clinic hostages. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna throw out random numbers. They can go, hey, it's $100 to store this many x-rays, with our company. And then next they come around and like, okay, now we're gonna charge you $10,000. And you're held hostages because they hold your patient's x-rays. So there's a need to get the information from these devices onto Web3, where the patient themselves is in charge of their own records, dental records, medical records, and can give permissions to the doctors to look at it. And that information that they get can be used for the medical doctor, be used for the patient, and they can share it with whoever they want. So you see, there's a lot of applications in IoT and Web3, and it's an improvement. And even better is that it can help, for example, in the case of diabetes, reduce healthcare costs. Because remember, when the data is stored at these centralized figures, they control how much the clinic's gonna pay. And when they start jacking up the prices to store your patient's information, you're gonna pass on those bills. Healthcare is gonna get passed on. Those medical bills are gonna keep getting higher and higher and higher, and your insurance may not always cover it, or they may have limits to how much they're actually covering. So this can be a very, very good thing. And we've only talked about one sample in healthcare, but there could be many, many more uses. You know, there could be stuff to monitor data from the environment, your car, a lot of stuff. So there's a new market out there. Iotex and Ankr are on it. So the future is excellent for both companies, and it's a strong partnership. Anyway, guys, I'm not affiliated with Ankr. I'm not affiliated with Iotex. Always do your own due diligence. Until next time, peace out, safe and best.